Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial on advanced departure procedures. We're in the Boeing 737-800. We're going to start at Manchester, we're on 23 right, and what we're going to do is go through the procedures for an NADP1 departure. The NADP1 departure is shown on the screen now. We're going to reference that throughout the video. I'm going to provide a link in the YouTube description so you can have that on the side of the video. We're going to start on the MCP and we're going to work our way downwards. In the IAS MAC value we're going to put V2 and that's shown in the FMC on the takeoff page. Heading is set to runway heading. Altitude is set to 5,000 feet. That's because the initial altitude climb is 5,000 as on the SID. We are not allowed to climb above 5,000 feet until instructed by ATC. That's backed up by the values here in the FMC, and we do not pass that until we are cleared. Both flight directors need to be on. The auto thrust needs to be engaged when lining up on the runway and not before, and LNAV, not VNAV, selected. Confirm that brakes are set to RTO, the flaps are set for takeoff, trim is set to 5, and the radios are set up correctly. On the primary flight display, make sure you've set the correct QNH for the departure. I've set a minimum of 1262. Basically, this is 1,000 feet above the runway, and we'll see when that comes into play on the departure. However, 1,000 feet, this is exactly 1,000 feet above elevation, which would be the altitude where we engage the autopilot. That will be for NADP2, we're on NADP1. So without further ado, we're going to go through the takeoff roll. It's going to be live, as I prefer a non-edited version because I think it keeps it more real and much more watchable for the user. So, okay, we're set up for departure, lights are set correctly, and the engine start levers are set to continuous. Okay, we're ready to go. So we release the parking brake and we set thrust to about 40-45. When both engines are stabilised, we engage the toga. So accelerating now. Confirm 80 knots. And V1 rotate. Lift up the nose to around about 15 degrees. When you confirm positive rate, gear up. Okay, you can see here that we are accelerating to this white marker, which is V2, around about V2 plus. We maintain that now. We can see here the minimum's coming up, so we engage the autopilot now. This is use of discretion, you can keep the aircraft flying manual, but for the purpose of this demonstration it's easier to have the autopilot flying the departure. So we're going to be following the SID. We maintain this speed until 3,000 feet. If you engage the autopilot, the speed will automatically change from V2 to about V2 plus 20. On NADP2 we would be cleaning up the aircraft at 1,000 feet, but for NADP1 do this at 3,000. So maintain this profile, which is level change N1 until 3,000 feet. Okay, so 3,000 feet, we start to bug up and clean up the aircraft. Select the SCP to bug up speed, which is 212. The nose will dip down and the aircraft will start to increase speed. Passing flaps 1, we retract the flaps to flaps 1. So now. And approaching flaps up, we clean up the aircraft. The nose will start to raise again as we've reached the bug up speed. And we're approaching 5,000 feet now. Okay, now the aircraft's clean. We start to go through the after takeoff checklist. Another thing we can do now is, for example, say we've been cleared above 15,000. So above flight level 150, we go into the init reference page and we go to N1 limit. If we've used a reduced thrust departure, we can now delete the climb to thrust limit. This is when we're cleared above 15,000 feet. So when we've been cleared above 15,000 feet, we can then select delete and delete this climb too. That's it, the tutorial is over. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll get some more tutorials out in the near future.